So I went to a few different places to find crypto guys for us to talk about. And this guy says, you talk about Bitcoin like a religion. It scares me. And that's his wife saying that. So it's a quote. You talk about Bitcoin like a religion. It scares me. Wife. And he goes, well, I pushed my hesitant wife too far. What's next? I won't divorce. Please be serious.
Okay. So he knows that a lot of the replies are going to be like, divorce your wife if she doesn't understand crypto. This is a big thing we deal with a lot in the guys universe, is that guys who are really obsessed with something, they oftentimes they'll have it out with their wife a little bit, who's, maybe wants to spend a little bit more time with their husband and have him spending less time doing crypto trading.
Maybe there's a deeper problem.
Yeah, that's...
Well, I've always felt like it is like the old sitcom dad just doesn't want to talk to his partner. That is not like not the type of guy I am. I never felt that way. I never felt like I needed like a refuge in my house from my wife.
You don't need a man cave. You don't need a man cave.
No, but I mean, you've seen how I treat my house. So
I agree.
The whole thing could be argued to be one.
Wait, sorry, are you pro man cave or against?
No, I'm not. You know what? Look, I feel like everything I do doesn't have to make somebody, like I'm always saying, what you're doing is wrong. And then I'm going, is that the person I am? So let's just put it this way. Would I have a room that had all the things of that? Like whatever, a fun room. But yeah, I would never divide it up as, a place to get away from. It just seems like it's from a lot of I don't know. You know what I mean? They're going to get away from my wife. Well, maybe you should just get a divorce. And you go, well, once in a while, when you're in a happy relationship, it would sound weird to go, no, I'm happy. But yeah, of course, once in a while, you got to take trips. You got to do things alone. And if you have the room, you can go to another room. But I don't need a room designated. Yeah,
she's not allowed in this room. We got a special lock on here that the ladies can't get into.
Yeah, we don't need any broads. And
of course, the room is a little dirty, because nobody's cleaning the thing up. You know what I mean?
It's just for fun, without the girls. By the way, I wouldn't, if I was going to get a man cave, obviously I wouldn't be married to a woman. I'm, because of my situation. But you wouldn't even think about it with any significant other. Hopefully,
that's the way I've thought about it a lot too. It's just like most of these things we cover, like guitars or bourbon or stuff like that. It's not like this one is a little different because I really don't think it should involve that much of your time. It is going and buying something and then watching it go up and down.
But that's what they're doing, Brian. They're sitting there all becoming obsessed with it because it has such an impact on their life, right? Like if it goes up, they could become rich. If it goes down, they could lose everything. So they'll just sit there watching it all day, just like obsessively, I feel like.
Here's what I recommend. Okay, for you people listening, I'm Todd Glass. But I think they need to be into. I want to give bad advice that they don't want to do for some reason. That's what makes me say things like, not that it's bad, it's just not. It's too hard. You go, you guys, I'm going to tell you what you need, and then that's it. Okay, you really want to know, or do you want?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Those guys, they need to be in therapy twice a week for 2 hours each session to really get. Because an hour goes by quick. You leave angry. 2 hours, twice a week, 3 weeks in a row. Then you'll fucking know whether this is over anyway.
I mean, I feel like, honestly, these people who are involved in crypto, though, it's completely different than the stuff we've covered before because it is their money.
Yes.
Like we've talked about stuff where they're losing money and you're spending too much money on guitars or Pappy Van Winkle or whatever, but this is their money. Like, so, I mean, I can see this causing marital spats that we've never seen.
I used to talk about it a lot on my old show, but I don't think I've ever brought this up. Like my main anxiety, the main manifestation of my anxiety is that if I start to get anxious, I check my bank account sometimes 9-10 times a day. Like I just keep opening it up and looking at it and being like, oh no, there went another $50 or something like that. Like it's kind of.
And that's your therapist told you to do that, or
he told me to please stop checking your bank account, and that was when I had less money at the time.
I got to bare my soul here. Because that's very interesting that you say that. I've never heard anybody like, hey, Mr. Rogers said if it's mentionable, it's manageable, even on little things.
Yeah.
But this is one of them because I have checked my bank account like that in the past when I was thinking, oh shit, did this check clear? So I know that feeling too. But I also, which I think this is more, I do it now for no reason. Even if I'm not waiting for it, I look at the amount. I have two, like I divide it up and I look, and sometimes you're right. I'll look at it like for no reason, maybe 10 times a day.
Yeah.
I never look at mine personally right now. I got a baby on the way. I live in Vancouver, one of the most expensive places in the world. And I'm currently at the state of not looking, just keeping it out of sight, out of mind.
I couldn't do it, Chris. If my wife understands that when we purchase something, anything, if we spend $100, she's going to ring it up at the cash register while I stand further up and check my bank account while it's going on. Everything looks normal. All right. And she's like, I can't buy presents for you with our bank card, with our joint bank account, because you're always checking it. And like, it's just a part of kind of being me. That's why I did buy Ethereum, which is one of the crypto coins. And I held on because they said it was the woke one, which by the way, I don't know.
So you bought one because it was woke?
Well, no, that it's the one that's less bad for the environment, which I don't even think I believe at this point, but I bought it anyway. And I was getting so bad that I started checking it all the time. And I just was like, what if I just bet on sports instead? At least there's a way to research and win.
Yeah, and you get to watch sports as well, which and it makes the games entertaining. It's like you're cheering for one team and you have stake in it and whatever. So yeah, there's something to be said for sports gambling over just straight up gambling.
Well, I found this guy and he goes, one of the guys' advice goes, talk less about Bitcoin. And the next person says, and there's the point. You got to have other things in life, passions other than Bitcoin, right? The guy responds, the original poster responds. He goes, not really. Nobody's about golf or woodworking.
Yes, they do, man. That's the whole premise of our whole podcast. Again, it's okay to be a lot of guys. You don't want to just be one guy. You don't want to just be a bourbon guy or just be a golf guy or whatever. Because then exactly like this, you become too obsessed with it, and then you're talking about it too much, and you become insufferable to everybody.
Right. That seems like what the thing that's happened with a lot of these people is that when you start reading the effects that this has on their family, it is financial largely, but some of these guys have the money to throw around and it's kind of not as big of a deal for them. But all of them seem to have a problem where everybody in their life is like, you talk about Bitcoin too much, way too much. It's all you talk about. And I think that's the negative. If you have the money, fine, whatever. You're just going to lose the money anyway. It's a big scam.
I guess that's true. The people online, when you see those people posting about it, those crypto accounts or whatever, it is just nonstop. It really has become this way of life, kind of, that their whole identity, and that is just a horrible identity to have. I mean, it reminds me of those, the guys who are just money people or whatever, and all they care about is money. Those people are awful to talk to usually,
My I have a friend that it's so funny. I say friend, then I want to go. It's my friend's husband. So I don't want to be judged. This is But anyway, he so he's interested in one thing. He's that type of person. He wants to talk about one thing, and it happens to be golf, or something happened on the golf course, but what those people get good at, they can take anything you say or anybody in the room to golf within 3 feet.
Yeah,
they're good at it. They're like, oh yeah, and then And then someone walks over and they're like, "Oh my God, you're talking about golf?" They go, "They brought it up." No.
Yeah, I saw somebody was talking about being, "Hey, I was out at the club last night," and he's
right.
like,
Then
"Oh yeah, the
golf club,
four iron."
Did I hear golf club?
No.
Did somebody say golf club? I heard somebody say golf club. I swear to God I did. Now I have a golf story, but only if I heard the word golf club.
Here's an issue from one of the people that's giving advice. I could listen to him extol the virtues of Bitcoin all day. Try feigning interest in whatever boring thing your wife is into.
Oh yeah, classic
people.
These are Bitcoin guys, Todd, and this is a big thing as well. Is whenever there's a thing on the message board that's like, "Hey, my wife's upset with all the time and money I'm spending on this," they're all like, "Why don't you bring up all the shoes she buys or all the like they're all
reality shows they watch is another
shows, just like one. Old school misogyny from like 1980s stand-up.
Right. It's so funny. It's like I remember once there was. It's just, I think you'll relate with this, that they did it even when it didn't exist. There was a husband and wife singing group, like from like the 70s, the 80s. It was a husband and a wife, and they were famous. And when the wife took a break, like they would sing some songs together, and then she would go off the stage. He goes, "Oh, I get nervous when I don't see her. It's gonna cost me." I'm like, you guys are in a singing group. It's 50% of her fucking money, obviously. Like the group is called the name of you and your wife. If anybody earns her keep, it's not fucking her. You're called. And then, but he still wants to make that joke. Like, hey, I'm supporting her.
It's so funny because like the Bitcoin people, I think, don't really talk to the women in their life very much, because it is every time they're like, "Why don't you tell her to go back to watching The Bachelor?" And it's like it's kind of like guitar, because we're talking about a time suck more than we're talking about like because with guitars it's like you keep spending our money on guitars, and like I can't get you to stop spending money on our guitars. For these people, it seems like their partners in life are saying like, "I would like to talk to you about non-Bitcoin or money related stuff sometimes." And maybe just like the stuff we used to talk about before we learned about Bitcoin.
Yeah, one of the many like aspects of life and just like living in general, we could talk about that, food or whatever.